Indigenous Rights Radio, because knowledge is power.
World Refugee Day, observed on June 20th, is a commemorative day to honor the strength and resilience of millions forced to flee their homes due to conflict, persecution, and environmental crises. Among them, Indigenous migrants face unique and often overlooked challenges. Displaced not only from their homes but also from ancestral lands deeply tied to cultural identity and survival, Indigenous refugees endure the compounded loss of language, tradition, and sovereignty. On this day, it's vital to recognize their stories and elevate their voices and advocate for refugee policies that respect Indigenous rights, ensure cultural preservation, and provide equitable access to protection and opportunity. The International Organization for Migration, or IOM, is the leading intergovernmental body on migration and part of the United Nations system, which has been in operation since 1951. The IOM reports that global migration continues to rise. One group remains largely invisible in migration frameworks: Indigenous peoples. Often viewed as rooted in their ancestral lands and traditions, Indigenous communities are increasingly joining migration flows, whether by choice or by force. Minorities and Indigenous peoples are among the most marginalized in many societies. They frequently face exclusion from economic and political life and face serious barriers to expressing their identity. These challenges only grow during displacement, while protection risks multiply. For Indigenous refugees, the impact of displacement is twofold. They suffer from the trauma of being uprooted from long-standing discrimination. Women, children, persons with disabilities, older adults, and LGBTI individuals within these communities are especially vulnerable. This growing reality calls for more inclusive migration policies that recognize and protect the rights and needs of Indigenous minority populations. Indigenous peoples' lands, territories, and resources remain a hot topic in the news as exploitation is on the increase in the era of transition minerals. Mining in Indigenous territories and exploration for oil and gas is on the rise. In a 2024 article by the World Economic Forum entitled Land Loss and Liberation, Indigenous Struggles Amid the Climate Crisis, the disproportionate impact of climate change on Indigenous communities worldwide is highlighted. Indigenous communities often inhabit ecologically sensitive areas such as coastlines, mountains, and forests, making them highly vulnerable to rising sea levels, melting glaciers, and extreme weather events. Their reliance on traditional practices and marginalized status further exacerbates their challenges in adapting to these rapid environmental changes. Additionally, Indigenous communities face compounded challenges due to climate-induced displacement. Forced relocations not only disrupt their physical environment, but also erode traditional governance structures, cultural practices, and spiritual beliefs, leading to significant mental health issues. The loss of ancestral lands and the erosion of cultural identity pose profound threats to the well-being and resilience of Indigenous peoples. Outside of climate change, Indigenous peoples are also facing displacement because of commerce and business opportunities. In a 2023 article by Yo Botswana, for instance, the writers elaborated on how tourism and mining is at the heart of forced relocations of the indigenous hunter-gatherer people who are known to most as the Sand people. The article goes on to state that Botswana's Sand communities are facing increasing displacement due to mining, tourism, and agricultural activities, raising significant human rights concerns. These issues were highlighted during the 43rd Universal Periodic Review at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, where concern was expressed over the inability of these communities to effectively challenge their displacement or access land equitably, leading to human rights abuses. On June 20th, 2025, let us stand in solidarity with those who had to flee from their homes to seek safety and shelter. For more on the rights of Indigenous peoples, visit cs.org and follow Cultural Survival on social media.